Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to be drawing some ladybugs, or ladybirds as some people like to call them, but for this video I'm calling them ladybugs. So we're going to start with some Faber-Castell Polychromos colouring pencils, and I'm only going to be using 3, and those are a pale geranium lake, a deep scarlet red and a black. And as you can see, I've outlined with a 2H pencil onto Winsor Newton Bristol board paper our little ladybug caricatures. And using the pale geranium lake colouring pencil, I'm just lining over the pencil mark the part, obviously the part that is red, which is the wings of the ladybug. So as you can see, I'm making very close-knit shading because I want to get as much colour onto the paper, because what we're going to be doing to make it look really bright is then colour the opposite direction. So at the moment we're just carrying on to lay down the colours. While I colour in this ladybug's wings, I'll give you a couple of interesting facts which I didn't know and maybe you didn't know. Apparently ladybugs or ladybirds are not always red, and they don't always have black spots. They can come in many colours, including red, orange, black, yellow, pink and white, and their spots aren't always black. Apparently some don't even have spots. They may have stripes or no markings at all, and they weigh about the same as a small metal paperclip. Well, I think that's about enough information overload, don't you? Back to the drawing of these ladybugs, and I'm just going over the first layer with another layer of colouring pencil because I want to get as much pigment onto that paper before we start then trying to shade it the opposite direction to really burnish it into the paper. So we'll just keep going with this. Oh, and while you're shading in your ladybug, make sure you put a little bit more pressure when you're onto like the second or third layer, so that you get as much colour onto the paper as you can, and keep shading in the same direction and in very tight little circular movements. So we should be almost there. You can see the colours getting a bit more intense. So just keep shading away. Yeah. So that's that geranium lake is nearly finished. Of course, this will be about the third or fourth layer that I've put on. So we just quickly shade over again. And you will notice once you put, if you've been using colouring pencils, it does take a bit of a toll on your hand. When you have to put quite a bit of pressure down, you'll end up with sore fingers. But that's nothing you or I can't handle. So we'll just carry on. What I'll also do is I'll leave a description in the description box of all the materials that I've used to create these ladybugs, and you can have a go at doing this yourself. The one thing I will say is if you don't have Faber-Castell Polychromo colouring pencils, don't worry about that. Just use any brand of colour pencils that you've got to hand. That's just fine. And also, whatever paper you have, if you don't have Bristol board, don't worry about it. Again, just use whatever paper you can get your hands on. I think we're just about finished putting the different layers of the pale geranium lake colour down. So now we're going to take our deep scarlet red, and for this we are going to shade in the opposite direction. And I'm putting down quite a bit of pressure onto the paper because I really want to burnish this colour in so we get the whole lot of the paper coloured in and there's no white showing and it comes up really nice and bright. So I'll just continue doing that and I'll leave you to listen to some lovely music. Now on to the black colouring pencil. We're just going to colour in the area in the middle, which obviously is black. And I'm just going to very carefully, so I don't go over onto the red, line out again over the pencil areas the black. And once I've done that, I will put down quite a bit of colour. I'll shade quite a bit of colour down, and again once I've done that I will burnish it by shading in the opposite direction so that we get a nice solid black and all the white of the paper is covered. And when that's done we'll carry on to do the other two ladybugs in the same way, so I will leave you to enjoy some music while you watch me colour them in. Don't these guys look cute? Our finished 3 ladybug drawing. If you enjoyed this, think about subscribing, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye.